I always liked working at Subway. It was a fun and easy job, and I got to meet a lot of interesting people. I was a friendly and generous employee, and I didn't mind bending the rules a bit to make the customers happy. I would give them extra olives, cheese, or avocado, and charge them less than the actual price. I figured it was good for business, and good for my tips. But there was one thing that I couldn't stand: the pastrami sandwich. The pastrami sandwich was our most expensive item on the menu. It cost $10 for a footlong, and it was made with premium quality meat, cheese, and bread. It was delicious, but it was also a pain in the ass to make. The pastrami was stored in a separate fridge, and it had to be heated up in a special oven for 10 minutes before serving. It also had to be sliced very thinly, which took a lot of time and skill. The pastrami sandwich was so annoying that I would avoid making it whenever possible. If someone asked for it, I would try to persuade them to choose something else. "Are you sure you want the pastrami? It's really expensive, and it takes a long time to make. How about the turkey? It's cheaper, faster, and healthier." Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But I always hoped that no one would order the pastrami sandwich. Until one day, when someone did. It was a busy Saturday afternoon, and I was working alone at the store. The line was long, and the customers were impatient. I was doing my best to keep up with the orders, but I was getting tired and stressed. And then he came in. He was a tall, muscular man, with a shaved head and a tattoo on his neck. He looked like he had just come from the gym, or maybe from a fight. He walked up to the counter and said in a deep voice, "I want 2 footlong pastrami sandwiches." I felt a surge of panic. 2 footlong pastrami sandwiches? That would take forever to make. And it would cost him $20. Who orders 2 footlong pastrami sandwiches? I tried to talk him out of it. "Are you sure you want the pastrami? It's really expensive, and it takes a long time to make. How about the turkey? It's cheaper, faster, and healthier." He looked at me with a glare that could melt steel. I said I want 2 footlong pastrami sandwiches. He slammed his fist on the counter. "And I want them now." I flinched. He was clearly not in the mood for negotiation. He was angry, hungry, and scary. I didn't want to mess with him. Okay, I said nervously. 2 footlong pastrami sandwiches coming right up." I grabbed 2 loaves of bread and put them in the toaster oven. Then I ran to the back of the store and opened the fridge where we kept the pastrami. To my horror, there was only 1 package left. 1 package of pastrami. And it was barely enough for 1 sandwich. What was I going to do? I couldn't tell him that we were out of pastrami. He would flip out and probably punch me in the face. I couldn't give him 1 sandwich instead of 2. He would notice and demand his money back. I couldn't give him half a sandwich each. He would think I was ripping him off. I couldn't give him anything else. He wanted the pastrami, and nothing else. I was doomed. I had to think fast. I had to find a solution. I had to improvise. So I did what any desperate Subway employee would do in this situation. I took out my knife and sliced the pastrami as thinly as humanly possible. I mean really thin. Like paper thin. Like transparent thin. Like invisible thin. I hoped that he wouldn't notice how little meat there was on his sandwiches. I hoped that he wouldn't care about the quality or quantity of his food. I hoped that he would just take his sandwiches and leave me alone. I finished making his sandwiches and wrapped them up in paper. Then I walked back to the counter and handed them to him. That'll be $20, I said with a fake smile. He took his sandwiches and looked at them suspiciously. He felt their weight and squeezed them gently. He frowned and shook his head. These are too light, he said in a low voice. What do you mean? I asked innocently. These are too light, he repeated louder. There's not enough meat on these sandwiches. He unwrapped one of them and opened it up. He stared at the thin layer of pastrami and cheese on the bread. He looked at me with a mix of disbelief and rage. Is this a joke? He asked. No, it's not a joke, I said nervously. That's how we make the pastrami sandwiches here. We slice the meat very thinly, to make it more tender and flavorful. He snorted. That's bullshit, he said. You're trying to cheat me. You're trying to give me less meat for more money. You're trying to rip me off. He threw his sandwich on the counter and pointed at me. I want a refund, he said. And I want an apology. I felt a surge of fear. He was about to explode. He was about to cause a scene. He was about to ruin my day. But then, something unexpected happened. Something miraculous happened. Something that saved me from certain doom. The fire alarm went off. Beep, 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 beep. The loud noise startled everyone in the store. The customers looked around, confused and scared. The smell of smoke filled the air. The sprinklers turned on and sprayed water everywhere. There was a fire in the store. And it was my fault. I had forgotten to turn off the toaster oven when I ran to get the pastrami. The bread had burned and caught fire. The fire had spread to the curtains and the paper towels. The store was in flames. I had caused a disaster. Hungry for more? Discover the unforgettable Subway adventure. Subscribe to our channel for more jaw-dropping stories. Did this story make you rethink your lunch choices? Share your thoughts below.